Have you ever wondered, how do car companies create prices for the cars that they produce? Well, obviously, it has something to do with things such as the features, the specs, and the make of the car, things like that. Well, let's try to make a prediction model using Microsoft Azure and see if we can predict the prices for automobile cars. So first off, what we're going to do is create a new experiment. We're going to do so by clicking New down here. We're going to click Blank Experiment. And now we have all of these sample data sets given right here. For the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be using automobile price data. So we're just going to drag that onto our dashboard like so. And we can rename our experiment to automobile price prediction. So once we have that, let's just take a look at our data. So here we have all of these cars, right? And then we have things like the horsepower, the peak RPM, the engine type, the fuel system, things like that. And then we have the price. This is what we will be predicting. So notice how in this column we have normalized losses. And we see that we have 41 missing values out of 205 rows. So just note that. So now what we're going to do, since we have all of those nulls in the normalized losses, we're going to prepare the data. We're going to do so by searching select columns. We're going to drag that out here. We're going to connect it to automobile price data. So now what we're going to do is click this and then click Launch Column Selector. So after that, we're going to go to With Rules. And now we're going to select all columns since we want to exclude them. And we're going to go to Normalize Losses. Then we're just going to click this checkbox. And then the cool thing about Azure, you can create comments by double clicking the module. We are going to type in excludes normalized losses. So this is actually really helpful, especially when your model gets too large and then you start to lose track of what you did. So having the comments there helps you see what you did in a certain module. All right, so now what we're going to do is select Clean Missing Data. We're going to select that down here. And we're going to connect that to Select Columns and Dataset. So what we're going to do is change the cleaning mode. We want to remove the entire row of normalized losses. So now that we have our data ready, we're going to want to define our features. So what we're going to do is drag another Select Columns in Dataset and connect that to the now clean missing dataset. So after that, we're going to double click the module and type in select features for prediction. Now we are going to click Launch Column Selector. And we are going to begin over here. And we're going to begin with no columns. So in the filter row, we are going to select Include Column Names. Now we are going to put in all the column names that we think have a say in what the car price will be. So let's just do things like the make of the car, the body style perhaps, the wheelbase, the engine size, the horsepower, the peak RPM, the highway MPG, and then the price. After we've selected all the features, we are going to click Yes. And now what we're going to want to do is choose and apply a learning algorithm to train the model. So first off, we're going to search split data. We're going to put this right here. So what this does is we can split the data so we have some of it going to train the model and then the other part of it to test the model later on once we finish. So let's just say we want 75% of our data to be used for training the model, and then the 25% will go to testing it. So after that, let's run our experiment and see if everything's good. So this is Azure running through the model. Once you see these check marks, it means it ran successfully. You also have the start time of the run and the finish time, and then the status code, whether it failed or whether it finished. So now what we're going to want to do is select a learning algorithm. So what we're going to want to do is look at machine learning. So you have all of this. So now let's just look at the initialized model. And it has several categories of models that can be used to initialize machine learning algorithms, as you can see. So for this experiment, we're going to be using the linear regression model. We're just going to drag that over here. Let's just zoom out real quick so we can see everything. And then we will have that right here. Okay, and now what we're going to want to do is type in train model, and this trains the model to be taking the split data and using linear regression. And then for the train model, we are going to click Launch Column Selector, and we are just going to select price into that, because that is what we are looking at. So after that, we are going to run the experiment again. After that, we will be able to predict the new automobile prices. All right, so it ran successfully. Now what we're going to want to do is predict the new automobile prices. So we're going to look for score model. We are going to drag that down here, and we are going to connect that to train model. We also want to train the model based on the split data, so let's connect that too. So after that, we're going to run the experiment again. So now, after it has run and successfully ran, I should say, we will be able to look at the outputs that show the predicted values for price and the known values from the data set. So we're going to click here and click Visualize. And here is what we have. So here are the price of the cars, and then here is what we have predicted, which, as you can see, they're pretty close. See, it's pretty close. So that just goes to show we've done a good job. But let's add an evaluate model down here and hook that up to score model. And we're going to run that one more time. And this is going to show us the metrics and the scores from what the error scores, I should say, of what we got from our model. So after that has run, we are going to click down here, we're going to click Visualize. So here are the metrics for our errors. Now keep in mind, in statistics, the smaller is better. So a smaller value indicates that the predictions more closely match the actual values. So that is all I have for you all today. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something. Microsoft Azure is a super cool tool for creating prediction models, and I hope you all can incorporate this somehow in the future. Thank you all for watching.